Maybe some of you are going to be uncomfortable with my talk today, but I want you guys to know that this is my truth, and you will notice that you have your own truth as well. So today, my goal is to get some of you to listen to stories that are maybe uncomfortable. And that's fine to be uncomfortable. But the goal is to be open to being uncomfortable in that issue. So honestly, today is a little bit, you might have a little bit of regret or some aggression or some negativity towards what we're going to be talking about. But my goal is to just put it out there. Just allow you to analyze. That's it. You know, and I will always respect your view, and I hope that you respect my view as well. I really cherish and value your guys' opinion and your ideas. So let's work in this together. This was 5 weeks ago. This was 5 weeks ago. My son broke his leg. We went to the nurse a week later for a checkup. And understand, in my town, it's really small, probably 3,000 people, so probably only like 200 deaf. You know, so we all, you know, there's a lack of interpreters in my community. So I went in to the nurse's office and I waited a long time, you know, and my son was there as well, obviously. And I had another son with me as well who was just completely restless, waiting for so long for the nurse. 45 minutes we waited. So the interpreters finally came up, and I'm not sure what took so long. They never looked at me. They never looked at me. And I was staring at them, you know, and I said, my kids are getting restless. Can we maybe get in? And they said, oh, no. They refused. So, you know, I said, can we talk to the nurse? They said, no. And they refused to look at me. So I said, can you please look at me? But of course she looked at the interpreter, not me. I said, no, look at me. She looked at me and she said, what? And I said, can you offer a solution? We have been here for an hour. We need some medicine and we need to go home. And the secretary said, oh, I'm sorry. And then my baby started to cry. And then she realized, oh, this is serious. Of course, when the baby starts to cry. So, they finally called a nurse and everything was worked out. The nurse came, you know, and she said, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. You know, so I said, yeah, you know, he's complaining about his medicine, you know, and so she said, okay, let me talk to your office manager. So we went and we sat down, but as we were going to our seats, they called us again. But of course they called the interpreter, not us. So they called the interpreter and they said that the interpreter had a phone call. The interpreter got on the phone and they said, oh, no, it's not for me. And they called me over and they said, it's for you. So they were calling to discuss my complaint. So I said, okay. So they asked me all kinds of questions and the secretary kept looking at me. But, you know, I was uncomfortable because they were sitting right there. So, you know, we got through the phone call and they said, okay, we'll contact you this afternoon. So great. So I went back to my seat again. I looked and I saw the interpreter whispering to the secretary. Oh, no. You know, I wasn't sure, of course, what they were saying, but I looked over and the interpreter had come back and sat down and I said, what did you just say to the secretary? And she said, oh, nothing. And I said, no, I saw you whisper something. What did you say? And she said, no. And I said, yes, I saw you. So finally, you know, I started to give up, but she said, oh, I'm sorry. I think it was a misunderstanding. You know, but she really wouldn't tell me. So, you know, that's not okay. That's not okay for me, for her to decide